Hello and welcome to Sobriety Life with me, Richie Crook. Episode 15 I believe we're on, and it was going to be a Q&A session today, but I decided I want to touch on another subject, which is going to be delirium tremors. Try and stay in that. We got a few beers or wines. Anyway, I better hold on because the old back's playing up a bit at the moment. So welcome. Get the things out of the way first of all. I've had some really good feedback this week and a lot of messages on the social media. A lot of people, unfortunately, quite a few people getting in touch and asking for assistance. Obviously, this is all completely anonymous, so I hope I've helped out the best way I possibly can. And just for those of you who have wrote in, and there's been quite a few, you're not alone, my friends. You're definitely not alone, and hopefully I can help you out into gaining sobriety and keeping sobriety and staying on the straight and narrow, as they used to call it. Sorry, someone's just at my door. Okay, I'm back now. I'm really sorry about that. That was room service. No, actually it was housekeeping asking if I wanted any more towels. I said, yeah, I do want some towels because you haven't actually delivered me any towels. So I don't want more towels, I just want some towels. Anyway, I'm rambling on again, like usual. So where was I? People who wrote in, and hopefully I've been able to sort of guide you. I can't cure you. I'm not a magician of Harry Potter. I can't just wave a wand, even though I know that's what people want, to wave a wand and you wake up a completely different person. But you have to put the effort in. You put the effort in and you get your mindset straight, and I promise you 100% things will start opening up for you and life will become a lot more manageable and you will start smiling again. And in turn, what happens then is your family starts smiling again and everybody, can get on with the rest of their lives. At the moment, some people, not 99% of the people watching these podcasts haven't got an issue, and that's fine. They're just probably just looking at the podcast to take the mick out of my new shirt, which is fine because everyone else has. So hopefully I've helped people out this week, and again, keep the messages coming in. The number will be up here. Keep the messages coming in, and don't call me. I won't answer the phone because I'm trying to keep away from the phone at the moment, just away from work. So just send me a text and I promise I'll come back to you, and just do it on the WhatsApp number as well, not on the Facebook or any other number, because I seem to be getting quite a few random texts here and there. But just do it on the WhatsApp number above, and I promise I'll get back to you in a couple of days. And remember, you're not alone, and let's go forward. Where was I? Delirium tremors. Okay, I'm not an expert. I'm not affiliated to any governing body. I don't work for anybody. This is just my experiences and things that I have listened to and gained experience from listening to other people who have been in far worse situations than I have, or far less worse situations than I have. Just keep it as frank as that. So I just wanted to touch on delirium tremors because it's something that, I don't know, the old stigma of delirium tremors, the DTs, or you see some old guys shaking outside of Wetherspoon desperate for a drink, or it's got a stigma about delirium tremors, which I'm guilty as well. I thought that myself. If someone says you've got the DTs, oh, he's got a drink problem. Oh, let's stereotype him with he's got a drink problem. But we don't choose. We don't actually choose to become dependent on alcohol. You don't choose to, I don't choose to. It's a very, very cunning disease, and it is a disease, let's get this right, it's a disease. It's a very progressive disease that overtakes you, and in the end, it takes over your whole life, and your life becomes unmanageable. And 9 times out of 10, you have to hit rock bottom before you can pick yourself up, dust yourself down, and start seeing the future again. But anyway, so delirium tremors. Let's try and break delirium tremors down a bit, shall we? So they consist of uncontrollable shakes, mass sweating, so where you're just profusely sweating, it's almost like a tap pouring off you of sweat. You can have the compulsive behavior where how do I describe it, where you're almost like your mind becomes transformed into something completely different, and you can't control your mind, and you do some spontaneous things, like you might get aggressive, or something along that path, where you end up committing a crime. You could end up causing some real severe damage to yourself and to other people, close people to you as well, family members, and without consequence. You've got no consequential judgment whatsoever. So that is a really nasty side of DT, so delirium tremors. And also you can hallucinate. Hallucinations can be the most scariest thing you could ever imagine when you're going through the delirium tremors. You know, some people take hallucinogenic drugs, you know, as a social thing, but you know, this kind of thing happens, these hallucinations, where you could think that you are being, I don't know, murdered, or you're being attacked, or there's people in your room, there's people in your bed, there's people trying to get you, and you know, any normal man on the street like ourselves would look at one of these people suffering from delirium tremors, hallucinations, and think, oh my God, you know, he needs to be carted off and sectioned. Probably does, but it's not the person's fault. They are being, literally, their mind, their complete central nervous system is being overrun and overwhelmed by, it's like a tug of war effect from alcohol withdrawal and the sort of the body itself. And I mean, the delirium tremors, really, what they do is they can come on, say, in normal circumstances. If a person like myself, or if you guys, or whoever has been drinking for a long period of time, for instance, I don't know, 6 months to a year of heavy drinking, maybe 10 drinks a day, 20 drinks a day, whatever it's been, and then suddenly the wife, the partner, the husband, whoever, the boyfriend says, oh, you've got to stop this drinking, you have to stop immediately, you need to stop. And then the person, really call it white knuckling, and really sort of, you know, gets locked in a room and white knuckles it and goes through the withdrawal. Usually they think they've got through the worst part of the first couple of days. However, that's when the DTs can set in, about 2 or 3 days after your last drink, where you can, it'd be like something coming on into your body, and then suddenly for the next 3, 4, 5, depending on how much you've drunk and how much of a session you've had, them DTs then will last they can last for up to a week of panic, of like the worst anxiety attacks you could ever think of in your whole life. Times that by 10. That's the anxiety that comes with the delirium tremors. And then you've got the hallucinations, then you've got the central immune systems being taken over, central nervous systems being taken over. If this happens, I'm not going to keep listing how bad it is, but if any of your partners, loved ones, whatever, sees this happening, because it doesn't have to be with really heavy drinking, it can happen at any time if you stop drinking immediately. That's why it's so dangerous just to stop drinking. So if this happens, you need to get to hospital. It is life-threatening. I can't emphasize this enough, that DTs is life-threatening, and it will kill you. It can kill you and will kill you if it's a real severe attack. And then there is medication you can be taking in hospital, where they can give you a controlled detox and take your body out of shock, and then you can go from there, can't you? But please, if you know, it's nothing to be embarrassed about. It is what it is. You got to a point where I've suffering with delirium tremors, and that's when you need professional help for your own safety, for your family's safety, and for everybody's safety around you. Because some people do some really stupid things and end up paying for the rest of their life, locked away in a prison cell, or, you know, God forbid, they might have killed somebody, or, you know, this can happen, believe me. So anyway, so I'm just touching on sort of like the bad parts about the delirium tremors, where, like I said, the psychotic side of it takes over your mind, the sweats, the shivers, the shakes, hallucinations, the anxiety attacks. So that's just giving you just as quick as I possibly could, a stereotypical sort of overview of the DTs. And when you do get admitted to hospital, if you can get your medical care as quickly as possible, fantastic. You know, however, you will be looked on in hospital like a low life, like they stereotype you like a tramp or any other person who's suffering with an addiction. You know, you're looked upon like you're an addict, because number one, the NHS still haven't been trained, I'll put my teeth in, trained correctly on addiction and alcohol misuse disorder. They still haven't been trained on it, so they still stereotype us with exactly the same as they would with someone who's been living under a park bench for the last 35 years and doesn't deserve to be in the same room as you do. You know what I mean? So unfortunately, the NHS have got to go a long way into recognising the alcohol misuse disorder syndrome, and we used to call it alcoholism. So yeah, so you will be treated and pretty poorly in hospital. They will just sort of get you in, get you out, but the good thing is you will be on a controlled detox then, instead of putting your life at risk. So bear with it, get your controlled detox, get yourself off it, and then the hard work starts, which I will touch upon in another episode. But seriously guys, this DT, delirium tremors, is not a nice thing. And you know, I'll give you a little bit of an example, and I won't carry on for too long, because I'm going to try and cut my videos down a bit, because my daughter tells me that they're too long. That's only because it's not got loads of things you can buy on there anyway. But anyway, so we've all been on holiday, I don't know, when we're younger, for like a big session. So every day you're out, especially the first part of the holiday. You know, you go mad for the first part of the holiday, and then you sort of get a bit ill at the end of the holiday, and then you sort of get yourself home. But when you're at home, you get the holiday blues, and you get a hangover from hell for about a 1 week or a 2 week hangover, and you see your hands shaking, and you think you're going to have a heart attack. This is just my experience as well, and I've spoken to a lot of people who have had the same. You're sweating, you're pouring out the sweat, you're shaking, you can't look anyone in the eye. That is alcohol withdrawal, and that is your body craving for alcohol, because you've piled in, you've binge drank, which we touched upon in the last episode. Or was it one before that? Anyway, so you've had your binge drink for 1 week or 2 weeks or whatever, or even sometimes in our case, when with the lads, a weekend, that was enough, because they would not want to see a drink ever again. Unfortunately, I couldn't stop that. I had to carry on. But you know, I'm just going back to the withdrawal. So you're withdrawing, you're shaking, you're sweating. In my case, and a lot of people's case, they'd have like irregular heartbeats. And I've spoken to a couple of friends of mine who've had the same. And that, believe it or not, is a form of delirium tremors, where your body's playing tug of war with your central nervous system, and you are basically withdrawing and craving that alcohol again, because your body has got used to alcohol intake and the influx, a real surge of alcohol intake. So then it wants to know, why am I not getting this fixed? Why am I not getting my medicine anymore? Because you're white knuckling it. Like normal people will say, oh yeah, you know, I've had enough, I've had a great holiday, I'm not going to drink now for another couple of weeks, you know, maybe a social drink at the weekends and see a couple of people. However, your body doesn't know that, so your body is craving, so you're shaking, you're sweating, you're having palpitations, you're short of breath, you know, you can't see straight. That, believe it, I don't quite know what happened there, but I think I pressed stop, so that's the first time. I might have to do a bit of editing on this one. But yeah, so that is really a form of delirium tremors that you experience when you white knuckle it and you stop drinking immediately after a big session, a big weekend, a big holiday, whatever. You imagine that times 100 times, because it's exactly what it's like. Because say, for instance, someone who's got alcohol dependency disorder has been doing that for, say, that sort of blowout, that sort of intake, that sort of binge for, I don't know, say 2 years. You know, it pains me to say a couple of years. And then suddenly you stop overnight. Your body is literally, it's like a tug of war with your body, your central nervous system. they don't know what's going on. So that's when you start shutting down, you have your palpitations, and all sorts of things can go wrong. So get yourself, maybe not just after a weekend or after a family holiday or a holiday with the lads, but if you do start having them signs, straight down to the hospital, get yourself checked in, tell them what you're feeling, tell them the symptoms, and they can sort of advise you or put you on some kind of medication like a Delirium or something to stop any of this happening. But this is just, I'm just talking worst case scenario. I just want to give you an overview on the Delirium and Tremors and just explain that it's not embarrassing to actually suffer with this. It's just one of them things, and that's life. And unfortunately, a lot of us are uneducated on symptoms and on effects and causes and treatment, I suppose. Anyway, I think I've gone on long enough, so I just wanted to get that episode in, episode 15 on Delirium Tremors. I can never say it. The family have been taking the mick out the shirt today. I thought I'd just wear it for to make myself get a bit more in the groove, but no. Anyway, I think it looks stupid. I just thought I'd put it on for the video. Thanks to everybody for all their kind comments on Facebook and TikTok and whatever platform you've been watching these podcasts on. And believe me, every time I do get a nice message of support and of people just giving, it's not so I need a pat on the back, but it just makes it worthwhile that you're actually doing something to help other people out. And there's no monetary values in it for me whatsoever. It's, you know, that goes out the window. I've been able to help quite a few people now, and that's really given me a sense of achievement and giving something back. Because I know I'm lucky in life where through my work I can get to visit quite a lot of countries and other people can't. So with me doing a podcast, I'm just trying to show people we're all equal. Some of us who suffer with alcohol dependency, we're all in the same boat. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, rich, poor, yellow, green, man, woman, whatever you are, we're all equal when it comes to addiction. And if you're not an addict, or if you never suffered with alcohol dependency, or if if you're drinking too much, if you're not drinking, whatever, just this podcast is for everybody. And I've managed to help quite a few people now, and that really gives me a sense of achievement, and long may it continue. And when I don't get any more messages, or I feel it's run its course, then I'll stop the podcast. But until then, there's many more to come. I won't say many again. But anyway, so please subscribe, please keep watching, please keep leaving positive feedback, and I will see you on episode 16, where I will do Q&As, and then I may do a story, which some people have been asking for, another alcohol related story, which I'm not proud of. I mean, I've probably got about 50 or 60, but I'm going to tell a pretty in-depth story of how alcohol took me to yet another bad place, rock bottom, and in a situation where it was life or death. So again, see you soon, and take care, and I'll post soon.